So hello everyone. Wait, let me just put it in the right perspective in order to see what's going on. Let's use the observer because there was an observer in this game. And to start off with, you guys might actually be surprised about this game. Let's focus on me for the moment. You guys might actually be surprised. Because I normally only upload like 16 plus, 16.5 plus, or sometimes even higher videos. But let me tell you this. Despite this being a 16 minus game around 1550 level, believe it or not, it has been one of the most challenging games I've ever played in my life, especially in the early stages. I'm not gonna tell you like what's going on. I would like you to find it out for yourself by watching this video. We'll get into that. But despite the level of this game, this is one of the hardest games I've played, hands down. And my set has beaten 17 plus opponents, despite my set not being 1700 level. I've done very well on set in high level games too. But despite the level of my opponent, he gave me a really good challenge. So let's jump into the game. So as we kind of concluded already, I'm playing as the set. And I'm gonna be... yeah, it's gonna be Frozen Waste, of course, going for the gold. Pretty much standard setup so far. And let's see what I'm going to be going for. And my opponent is gonna be... I'm not gonna pronounce the name because I'm not sure if the progress of YouTube would like me to say that. But whatever. I'm just gonna call him Wada. So my friend Wada here, or not really my friend, my opponent here is gonna be going for the hunt himself. Pretty standard build order so far. It looks like it's gonna be 430. Yes, it is, most likely. Although he might actually be taking second TC. He could be. Not sure if he's going to go for that. Well, of course I know, but I'm not gonna tell you what he's going to be going for. And the last player from the opponents is gonna be Il Bello playing as the Tor. And yeah, this guy... Just to be clear, this guy is around 1550, this guy is around 1552. And his opponent, that's going to be my ally, that's going to be Harmony. And Harmony is going to be playing as the Zeus, and he is around 1552, so I'm kind of the odd one out here, being 1650. It was a really late night, no players around, and I was like, well, better some game than no game. And I went in this game expecting this to be some relaxed, boomy game for me. But it ended up being very challenging. As I said, one of the most challenging games I've ever played in my life, especially in the early stages. This guy should not be on wood. I should fix that. That's not what I want for on wood this early. But I'll probably be fixing that very soon. And in the meantime, I'm converting the walruses. How many do I have already? Okay, that's the first one. Okay. So yeah, let's see what's going on at the moment. So is everyone... Okay, so the temple is coming up for our friend Harmony here. Same for Mr. Il Bello. And for Mr. Wada, it is not yet coming up. Okay, there it is. So it seems like he's gonna be at least somewhat delayed, from the looks of it. And how are the upgrades coming in? Just hunting dogs here, but I think pickaxe should be coming very soon. Can I actually see that without switching to my perspective? I don't know, but it should be coming soon. Ah, there it is. It's being researched now. So the advances are coming in. All fairly similar timings actually. It's not as much delayed as I expected it to be from looking at the temple building. But okay, so let's have a look at the upgrades. So for me it's just pickaxe. Hunting dogs. Let me find some villager. And this is also hunting dogs big sticker, pretty much standard. And is here maybe gonna be some... no, not yet hand axe or anything, but is it coming up somewhere? It doesn't seem to be. And for the Atlanteans, anything coming up? No, not really. No, nothing really coming up, but that's alright. Guess nobody's really that much interested in going for the early game economy. Okay, what I'm doing here, I'm walling up this tower but I think it would be more of a good idea to wall up this one first, because that's near my gold mine. Let's see if I'm going to be punished for that. I think that would be a little bit better, and put the 4 towers around this one instead of this one, because this one is a whole lot more influential in the early stages than this one. I probably decided to do the 4 here because it's more secluded, but yeah, so Pla coming in for me, pretty much standard. And looking at the amount of vills I'm putting on the gold mine, this is probably gonna be meaning that I'm gonna be going for some second TC. So let's see how that's going to be going for me. No all other players going for second TC. That's a nice amount of goats there. Not so much here and not so much there. So it seems like Blue did a really good job at... Okay, so a bit of a forward base over there. That's interesting. I think this is supposed to be sorta his back TC. I think. Yeah, it is. Well, that's a sucky spawn. That's an absolutely sucky spawn. I think he should have gone for this one though. Look at this gold mines. Especially this one. Ah, this is ridiculous, dude. This gold mine. That's absolutely ridiculous. So close to the TC. Normally you have to put really some effort in securing your gold mines on this map, especially the forward ones. But grabbing this TC gives you this gold mine for free. I think you should have thought about that. Anyway, so I just advanced through Pla. Pretty much standard timing. Probably a little bit later, like 10 seconds later. So the second TC is coming up, but he is moving in with his army. And I'm not even going to empower it from the looks of it. I was kind of confident. As you guys can see, I was kind of underestimating my opponent there. I didn't expect to be disrupted in any way from this guy. I was kind of expecting, well, he's probably just gonna AFK and let me do whatever. But these guys seem to have a different idea about all this gold mining here, I think. So this house may barely be finished in time. Okay, so there, the military is coming in. And that's one villager down. And the other ones are going to be at least idle. Why did they stop walking? Oh, I really didn't want to lose this pharaoh. That's bad micro for me. That's pretty bad. But at least I got, I think, 2 units. I thought there was here 1, 2. Okay, so he's keeping up the pressure. He's not gonna allow me to get any gold here. For the moment at least. But let's see, he's backing off for a bit. Training a priest would be pretty useful. Okay, so this TC barely got finished in time. And maybe I can start mining some gold there as well anytime soon. Because this is not happening. And I was kind of realizing that. I was just, you know, making my farms. Realizing that this gold mining is not going to be as productive. I would have probably made my farms either way. I don't know what I'm saying. Let's have a look at the other side. Brief look. So some RC here. A centaur there. Centaurs there. Okay, so this Zeus here is pretty committed to his centaur raiding. And I think it might actually be pretty successful. Let's see. And this guy, did he actually go for City or Freya? Freya, pretty much standard. So more and more military coming in, and he's really not liking the fact that I'm gonna be mining here. And as you guys can see, I decided to vilify it with the tower fire in here. But I have to be careful because this is gonna be a villi last. Maybe even a second one. This is not the right place to run away. Okay, I decided to do some more villi fighting. But with this coming in, that is gonna be too much, and I should retreat from here ASAP, as I'm doing right now. This is a pretty big army, but what this guy isn't realizing, well, actually he did find out about it, but he's not doing anything about it. That's kind of a mistake in his gold starving. So yeah, he just decided he's gonna raid my farms. So what we should realize at the moment, by the way, is that I would normally I'd be up by now. I would be advancing. I should fix these guys. They ran out of their last walrus. Yeah, so I'm losing some vills, but at the same time I'm gathering the gold. And I should have really realized earlier that I should send this widget over. Yeah, I may be losing some fills, but he's losing a full pop army in there. He lost like everything he sent. So I kind of want to see. Let me have a look at what's going on this side. Not much. This guy is just centaur raiding at the moment. It's interesting that I have. I'm the only one with a second DC actually. That's quite interesting to me. Okay, so he wants to go for some raiding on here, but I don't think he's gonna be that successful with just the 2 units in there. This is gonna be gone very fast. Okay, so a bit of reinforcements coming in, but by this time, well, actually not by this time. I think I'm not doing that well in the resource department. Yeah, as you guys can see, I have no food. I have quite a nice stack up of gold, but this is quite problematic here. The double is gonna be happening at this point. And the shockwave, that's gonna be lots of Philly losses, and that's gonna cost me. I did want to check though in the past game how much military this blue guy already lost. Yeah, 36, so that's quite a lot. This is also quite a lot. Most of which are villagers, I think. Also the animals, of course, but also villagers. Units killed for me are pretty good. Okay, so anyways, let's jump back to the game. This walrus is gonna be lost, sadly for me. And these vills will probably be able to deal with these last 2 Terma. And he's really doing a good job at keeping up the pressure. And although Red didn't decide to help me there in the double, he did decide to take advantage of the situation with the bit of a double over there and take his forward TC for himself. So not happy that he didn't help me and let me lose 2 units. Probably was too late to move over anyways, by the way. But you know, I'm happy that he took advantage of the situation to gain some advantage over the teal guy. So yeah, let's see what's going on. Wait, let me jump back to this perspective. So he's gathering up some new army, and I think instead he should try to do whatever he can to disrupt my gold mines. He's giving me time now, and he really shouldn't be giving me time. Because as soon as I reach the heroic age, I think it's gonna be, since this guy doesn't have a second TC yet or anything, wasted some resources in the towers from the looks of it. Sorry about that. He's just giving me time, and that's not gonna be that great for him. So yeah, this TC is not gonna fall, and he's still just gathering up. I'm not sure what that's about. Okay, so as you guys can see, that probably means that I just clicked up heroic. Yeah, I did. If I moved my guys to boot. So I'm going up heroic from the looks of it. And there's gonna be another attempt at raiding the gold, but as you guys can see, I was paying enough attention and it's gonna be 0 losses for me this time around. In the meantime, on the other side, there was some sort of engagement, but rather actually disengagement. And it seems like, especially since the Greek units are stronger, and he also has some numbers, he seems to be having the upper hand, and throwing axemen are not that great versus raining cavalry and archers, and also not against centaurs. So this is gonna be a win for Red, most likely. Yeah, very convincing win actually. I don't think Red lost like anything here. Maybe just like 1 or 2 units. In the meantime, it seems like Blue is gonna be stopping to focus on me for some reason, and he wants to do some raiding on Red. So it's gonna be a bit of a double on Red. I guess this forest fire forced the Red army away for a bit, but otherwise it didn't do that much. Okay, so what's going on here? A bit of raiding still, and more importantly, he let me get up my Migdal, and that's probably, he gave me such a challenging early game, with actually like 3 minutes delay. I was like in 2:30, 12:30 I think, heroic. That's like a 3 minutes delay for me. That's huge. But yeah, this is a nice capture, by the way. Very nice. It's gonna be lots of losses for Blue yet again. and he's not gonna be doing anything about this here. So yeah, he let me get up my Migdal, and from this point on, this gold is reasonably secure. 4k gold. There is still 1k here, so 5k at my disposal. So I'm gonna be in a pretty nice position here. At least what he's doing well here, he is checking if I want to go for the 30C, which I probably will want to do soon. Okay, so let's have a look at this side again. So he's still on the 2TCs, and the opponents, actually one of our opponents did just take a second TC. He should really start making some Virts there to kind of capitalize on his advantage there. So I'm moving in, but this is not enough to deal with this, most likely. I will need some more. All these myth units might help out nicely. But yeah, he kinda, that's okay. He's stealing my hunt. That's quite risky. Okay, so he's microing this nicely with the Terma. He's running away. He's kiting the elephant, and this is gonna be meaning that I may have to retreat soon. Although with the reinforcements, it's gonna be enough for me to win this battle, at least for now. And this Oracle should die very soon. 30C coming up for my ally here, and are my Vils yet moving in? Yeah, okay, they are. They are moving in to grab that TC, or at least secure it. And what's going on? This kinda SimCity on this side, actually. It's kinda SimCity on this side. This guy has a huge army and is just sitting here. And this guy is also having a huge army and just sitting here. I'm guessing from a strategical standpoint, this guy is probably wanting to go for some Ragnarok, and he might want to play a bit more passive for that, I guess. But this guy is gonna have the mythical Zeus eventually, and I'm kinda gonna give the favor to Zeus if this game, if they're gonna go for a SimCity style. At the same time, if this side were to go SimCity style, the advantage would be for me. The advantage for me would be just enormous, pretty much, because Seth has such a better late game compared to the opponents. Anyway, still SimCity on this side. Let's have a look at the military up. So Copper Shields, that's a nice one versus all the Archy. Copper Mail is also pretty good versus the Norse. Not sure what the shields are for. For me, nothing, and for my opponent, it's also nothing. Just line of sight. That did help out with the rating, I guess. That's a nice relic for him. Yeah, so the third town center is coming up, and with the Migdal being near it, and me having the ancestors, and him not really having that much of an army. Not sure what all these hero Terma are doing in there. But anyways, I have the army upper hand, actually. I was thinking I wasn't, so I should probably have checked this position and moved in right away. I could have prevented this all if I wanted to. But as you guys can see, I wanted to go a bit more SimCity style. So Frost is coming in. And let's see how he's gonna be taking advantage of this. Because he's just gonna use the time to kill all the units. Which is alright. He may have actually tried to kill this instead. Here we're looking at the military ups. Yeah, this guy got nothing. And now my army is finally moving in. But I changed my mind. Is Staff yet coming up, actually? Kind of thinking it should be soon. The fact that I retreated. Yeah, I think it will be. Despite me not having the food yet. I think it will be quite soon, to be honest. Anyways, let's jump back to the observing perspective. And it seems like, because of the frost, Red had some heavy losses, and there are upgrades coming in for our teal friend here. Quite good upgrades, actually. This is excellent, and he found some relic that is gonna give him more Pios armor as well. Very well upgraded for this stage of the game. Having the okay, this guy has the bronze as well. Not sure why he can go as fast as and get everything in mythic, but this guy should be working instead of fighting. Okay, so as you guys can see, I kind of missed this. I secured this gold mine as well with the Migdol, so I'm gonna be safe for the moment in the gold department. And this guy managed to... Catapults is nice versus all the elephants, I gotta say that. It's pretty nicely done by him. And this villager might die. Okay, never mind. It's not gonna die. In the meantime, what's going on this side? It seems like because of all the archers, and the North has a hard time dealing with it, especially since he isn't making any RC. Oh, well, here's one. But, okay, so the TAF is coming in finally. So as you guys can see, I'm playing a bit slower game, playing a bit SimCity as well, but that's just because I'm knowing that I will win the late game. And I was kind of afraid earlier of these catapults, and that's why I didn't want to move in until I had my TAF. But the moving is gonna happen. As you guys can see, the upgrades are coming in as well, maybe even some armory ups. Yes, they are even making the second armory to get my upgrades faster in Mythic. How is my resources doing? Pretty good. Pretty good indeed. The favor is also there for Valley of the Kings, so that's gonna be pretty nice there. A bit of raiding here, but not with any success. Eco ups full except for the Mythic one that I still have to get. How is he? Okay, so this side seems to be slightly one for red here. The problem with red is he may have got all his military down at this point. However, he doesn't have any palace or siege. And no infantry either, so if he had some infantry as Zeus, he would be in a pretty good spot. Okay, so this guy is finally moving in with some catapults, medium catapults at this point, but not much else. The elephants are a lot better upgraded. And elephants being as strong as they are, along with these chariots, I'm thinking that I'm gonna be in a pretty good spot, despite all the catapults in here. Yeah, as you guys can see, the catapults are not killing them that fast. And there's the meteor. And I need to retreat so I don't lose my army. Oh, this elephant, this poor elephant might have a bit worse fate for himself. In the meantime, there is finally a fortress coming up, so that's going to be good for him. But in the meantime, Teal got some army back, and these Hurlscarls are definitely a very good idea against his opponent. Even having the iron upgrade already, that's going to be pretty good. And this Sturma probably better head home to get rid of these chariots, because they are going to be dealing with the catapults quite nicely. And that's going to be the ancestors, as I didn't want to lose my units here. So, and he is deciding to not fight it. Okay, that's a wise decision, I guess. And are my vills moving in to reclaim this fort town center for myself? This would be the perfect timing for that. Underworld Passage coming in for the back. But the Ragnarok, I didn't even know he was mythic. That's the perfect counter for him. That's gonna save himself, at least for the moment. At least for the moment, that's gonna save him. And the villagers are moving in. This army is all gonna be lost pretty much. I should probably retreat with these chariots. That's probably a good idea for me. So yeah, champions coming in. Should probably move these ancestors forward. That's probably a good idea. In the meantime, how is this going on? What's going on here? Not that well upgraded for the stage of the game, I think, on the Hippospis. Oh, he's not mythic. Okay, that makes sense. At least he has lots of Hippospis. How much was the rag, actually? I think we should be checking that. How much was it indeed? It was about... I didn't have trade, so that was everything. That's about 60 pop at 20 minutes. That's not that influential. That's not that great. Okay. In the meantime, I should be moving in very soon. I did have the shifting sands for him, but I was thinking that red was going to be pretty much fine. He's souring up. He knows what to do, from the looks of it, to counter it. And more upgrades are coming in for me. And on this side, no upgrades at all. And with the 4th TC being up now, this is gonna be probably quite rough for him. 2nd Migdal coming up. Maybe even some mercs. Can I actually afford it? Yeah, I guess I could. Wouldn't be the best thing to do now, but I guess I could afford it. Let me jump back. What's going on with the rag? So, the rag isn't yet gone. He's actually gonna assist on this side. He's realizing that his teammate is gonna be in a pretty ugly spot at this point. And the catapults are definitely a pretty big problem for the Atlanteans. And there's also some rag here, so quite a lot of rag left actually. However, he's not having lots of mail upgrades. He does have to pierce, so the elephants will be rather effective against him, I think. Or axemen if I were to have them. So red is coming in to assist, that's probably a good idea. Although it might actually not be needed all that much. I could always spam mercs if things were to get ugly on this side. But I'm thinking that I'm gonna be just fine, pretty much. And he's actually building up here, that's nice. So, almost fully upgraded at this point, just missing one Pierce armor upgrade. So this rag is not doing anything. This is very nicely secured. Doesn't have masons though, that would be very helpful. But he is very nicely upgraded on this, or very nicely prepared for the rag. And it's actually, since all the red army is here, it's gonna be developing into a 2v1 on the teal player. And he was already, or rather the blue player, and he was already kinda beat before. So this is not gonna be very good for him. This might be some nice raiding here, but it's not gonna matter at this point, I think. This blue guy is dead. I have no idea how blue could be standing any longer. These guys should be moving in, most likely. Okay, so Pharaoh coming in, probably to take this TC for myself. What's the pop on my friend here, actually? On my friend Walla? Just 90. At this point, just 90. Okay, so the rating was nice. I give him that. I just doubt if it would be influential enough to turn this game around. At this point, I'm thinking not. I mean, blue is dead, and red is just miles ahead on teal at this point. And since this guy didn't have trade, let me check that, by the way. I haven't confirmed that. No, he doesn't have trade, so he has basically no chance of returning, of like remaking his economy. He does have some food villagers, that's it, I guess, but just 7 with nothing else. That's not gonna cut it. I think our friend Wada should probably send him some resources, since he is quite high on the resources here. He could actually help his teammate out quite a bit with just distributing some resources. So he's desperately trying to settle this DC and make some new buildings here. He should probably make some military buildings as well, since all of his existing ones are going to be gone at this point. Yeah, these ones are not gonna stand for much longer. And this guy didn't have masons, so that's why these catapults are a lot bigger of a problem than you would expect them to be. Well, they are always going to be a problem, but they're going to be even more so. Oh, this is not going to stand very long with all the very well upgraded Hippospis at this point. Well, he's still missing some upgrades, but I'm guessing he's going to be pretty much fine in there. So let's see. So my very big army is gonna move in here, and the teal player is gonna be realizing with this rack heroes gone that the game is not gonna be theirs, and blue being gone. Seems like I'm still missing some upgrades. Yeah, I'm missing the tusks. Maybe I didn't have the favor or something, I don't know. Or I just forgot it. I should have gotten those tusks. But as you guys can see, they're realizing that this game is beyond their control. I'm even on 6 DCs at this point. So, as you guys can see, the late game wasn't as interesting really. Because blue allowed me to do everything I wanted in like heroic and on. But the early game was very, very, very challenging. As I said, one of the most challenging games I have ever played in the early stages. He didn't let me get anything. He didn't let me farm from my farms. He didn't let me gather gold. He didn't let me get anything really. At a high cost for himself though, because as we saw in the graph earlier, he lost tons of units trying to raid my farms. So he should probably just more focus on the gold starve part instead of the farming part, I guess. And probably he should have taken his own second TC earlier, so he would be able to beat me. Well, not beat me, but do better against me in later stages. So let's have a look at the past game. Okay, so we can see me leading in like everything in the end. Mainly in economy. Okay, so both guys actually didn't have trade on the enemy team. Okay, so what can we see here? Pretty good KDs for our team, but the enemy team, it's gonna be the exact different, the exactly other side. Especially for blue, he wasn't in that good of a position really. With the, he did have lots of military, but just so many losses compared to the kills. So that's kind of unfortunate. It's especially unfortunate. I think if he knew how to follow up on his early pressure and how to transfer that into a mid-game advantage, I think they could have been in a decent position to maybe even win the game, or at least do a lot more well in the late game. Blue actually confronted me at the end of the match. Well, actually I confronted him. I told him, you know, very well played in the early stages. I had a tough time. That's what I told him. And he said, well, I didn't know what to do. He said, I really didn't know how to beat you. And he said, well, you did a very good job on the early pressure. You just, you know, needed to boom yourself with a second TC at 60 pop. You know, try not let me get my migdals up, keeping me gold starved in the later in mid game. Those would have been very helpful things. And as you guys can see, my heroic age is delayed by like 2.5 to 3 minutes. That's huge. He did a really good job on that. So well played by him. Anything else extraordinary to see here? Not really, pretty much standard. Except for the very late heroic age from blue. And from red also actually. For the mythical age then. So just 25 elephants made. So we can see my early game struggle here against the opponent here with all the raiding. But in the end, the Egypt economy will kick in. (31 to 22). Okay, so that's actually 9 villagers lost at 7 minutes. That's pretty huge. Well played by blue on that part. Yeah, at this point, you know, this happens to me more often when I'm playing Egypt going for the second TC, that people just harass me early so heavily, and I'm pretty much defenseless with 0 units, so I'm gonna have to rely on teammates or just, you know, micro it very well and somehow survive until heroic. I'm sometimes even thinking, shouldn't I just, you know, make classic army at least a bit, you know, make like 7 to 10 spearmen, something like that, and maybe like 2 or 3 priests just to defend myself, because if I don't, I'm gonna get abused up the ass pretty much, But it will, sure, that will delay my heroic timing. So, you know, that's kind of a dilemma I have been thinking about lately. But anyways, even though it's not the usual level I upload on my channel, I thought this one was worth uploading because Blue did a very, very, very good job in the early stages, and the other guy and the other side was pretty much even until the later stages. So well played to all. GG, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.